Hi, everyone. Welcome in. I hope you're having a great evening. So, I just dropped a short on it was about resources for your career or for your business. And it was a short I did this morning. I wasn't going to post it, then I couldn't. For whatever reason, I'm unable to post videos in my office. My internet service on my phone just doesn't work. I'm not understanding. That just started happening here lately. But I did end up posting it because I still felt it had a lot of value, providing you with information that I'm hopeful that you can use. But I wanted to just elaborate a little bit more on some of that information that I shared, because I know there are a lot of people that, unfortunately have lost their jobs, their positions. Things have shifted. You may be even on the fence, feeling like, I feel like any day I'm going to get that tap on the shoulder. And really, for the resources that I was sharing, the best time to become aware of them is when you don't really need them. You should always be aware of different resources, whether you're in your perfect job, your forever job. If you don't even plan on going back to work, you may just need this information to share with your circle. You may have young adults that are graduating. College graduations are here, high school graduations are just around the corner. So, for whatever the case may be, for yourself or those in your circle that are looking for a new career, there's so many resources out there that you may not know about. And you may not know about them because this is not what you do. This is not what you're seeking. And then when you need it, you're looking around like, what's there? What's going on? What kind of support is there out there? So, one of the things that I talked about was Works, and that is your workforce development board, and they go by many names according to wherever you're living, whatever state you're in. They have a works of some sort. So what I would do is just research in your area, do a Google search on your workforce development board. Your workforce development board will have several different types of satellite offices that will provide you with counseling services, wraparound services, things that you'll need to be workplace ready or to help you land that perfect job. They have training that's available that's free. You don't have to pay for it. Some of the training, you may even get some funding while you're in that training. And training happens at all different times. Some training may be during the day, some may be in the evening. They are very flexible. They understand that many of the people that may be coming through, some of them may not have the flexibility to come during the day. They may have children or something that they're caring for, and the evenings will be better. So look for that. I see Sassy is in the building. Hello to you, Essa girl. Hello, how are you doing? Nordian vlogger. Hello. Love me Love Me channel. Love Him channel. Hi, how are you? Thank you for coming in. Thank you for popping in. I hope that you all will find some nuggets for yourself in this live, or for those in your circle that may be in need of finding a new career or a new job. I am doing well, Issa girl. How are you doing? I hope you're doing good. And so I'm not sure if I'm saying it right, Issa or Essa. Essa girl. Either way, that's a beautiful name for sure. Yes. And so, again, you want to check your workforce development board in the area that you're in. They have the state boards, then they have the regional, and they have the local. So you want to find who they are and who are they connected with, and then see what providers that they have where you can go and skill up, take a course. I know a lot of people that do still have a job and they're taking those skilling up classes like HVAC technician, plumbing, electrical, mechanical, even some things with banking. So some Goodwill industries, and Goodwill is everywhere. If there's one near you, let me know. Put a heart in the chat and let me know that there's a Goodwill near you. But Goodwill, I know the one here in Charlotte, they have a training program. They are preparing people that are interested in going into the banking industry. And not as, actually, more of an admin for banking, but at any rate, they are definitely giving you those skills and that knowledge to go into that industry, especially if you're pivoting from something else. Thank you for the hearts and the smiling faces. Thank you so much. And Alex, thank you. No, thank you for being in here, Alex. Good to see you. And so another thing is Goodwill. They have the Urban League, and they have other nonprofit organizations that will be specific for your area. And you can go to, many different places to find out like who are these providers. Go again to your community college. I will always say that because they are a hub for people that are trying to reskill and upskill themselves. Go to your library. Oftentimes they'll have pamphlets or more information about those organizations, because some of those organizations, you may not be familiar with, because they they're just not in your realm of things. You may have been on your job for 10, 20, 30 years, and you just didn't have a need for it, and now you may be finding yourself needing those resources, those opportunities. Just open your eyes and see what's available. Check out the course offering list at your community college. They have of course, associate degrees, but they also have certifications and one-off class trainings that can also be good and beneficial to include on your resume. LinkedIn Learning is another one. Coursera is another, where you can take classes and, at the end you'll get a certification of completion. But if you go to like a community college, it's a little more credentialed. Look for training that also will give you a stipend so that you can earn while you're learning and get that hands-on experience. See what their track record is with employers in and around your area. So if you're looking to be employed in that particular thing that you're skilling up in, you want to make sure that the organization you're learning from has a good track record and has, good connections in your community. Let's see. I see it's hard for me. Most hated bronze. Flat Power God is in the building. TWP Popcorn. What is popping? Ooh, how are you doing? It's good to see you. Another thing, if you have a particular type of career that you've been working in, and you belong to an association, or you're familiar with associations that are aligned with your industry or your career, go to those associations' websites. And a lot of times on their websites, they'll also post opportunities around the country that you may find interesting. A lot of those associations are national or international. And so they'll have opportunities throughout the country or even the world. And those would be really good for you to be connected with. Even if you say, I don't know if I want to apply to this, but you can reach out to the person that may have posted it, or if there's that recruiter's name or hiring manager's name on the job posting, reach out to them and make that connection. Set up some time to speak with them and see if they can refer you to other opportunities. It may not be that one, but other opportunities within their organization or just within the industry. Listen, when you are on a job search, just like I tell people who are looking to hire people, you can't just post and pray. You have to market your position. You have to market your opportunity and make it attractive to job seekers. Well, you have to make yourself attractive to people that are employing you. And to do that, you can't just apply and pray. You have to apply and take action in so many creative ways. Again, reaching out to the hiring managers or to the recruiters is definitely going to be something that you'll have to become comfortable with. Some people will say to me, well, Coach Sherri, I don't really like doing that. I'm an introvert. I don't like to just cold call people and try to sell myself. I'm not a salesperson. Listen, everybody's a salesperson, even parents. When you're trying to convince your child to eat those vegetables, you're trying to sell them on the value of the vegetable and how good it's going to taste and make them feel good. Well, you're selling yourself. Absolutely. When you go on an interview, you're selling yourself. When you submit your resume and application, you're selling yourself. So there's always an opportunity for you to sell who you are. You want to market who you are. And there is a difference between selling and marketing. So I really should be more focused on telling you about marketing yourself, because selling, it's here today, gone tomorrow. You may or may not be selling them a bag of goods or a bag of rocks. You want to sell a bag of goods for sure. But when you're marketing, you're standing behind what you're saying. You are like, listen, I'm tried and true. I know what I can do. And you're giving them value and sharing your value. And that's what you do when you are submitting your resume. That's what you're doing when you do go on those interviews. You're showing your value and how you can impact the organization starting on day one once you understand who they are and what they do. So for those of you that's been out of the job market, you're probably in a situation where you're like, well, listen, Coach Sherri, I thought I was going to retire at my job. And, I've done rapid response training for companies that have closed all of a sudden. They had massive layoffs. Whenever a company lays off more than 100 people, they have to provide them with some wraparound services. And so, especially when I was in Virginia, I used to be part of that solution, going into those places of business and coaching and training up and helping the employees find what their next move was going to be. And I remember there was one, it was a correctional facility in Boynton, Virginia. It was Boynton Correctional Facility. And that was actually, remember the DC sniper? Well, that's where they took him, and that's where he ended his life. Well, he didn't end it, they ended it for him. Because of all the things that he did before that. And so it was interesting because they closed the correctional facility, and you never hear of a prison or a jail or anything like that closing. If anything, you hear of them building more up. So when they closed it, they had laid off 300 people. And many of those people, I'm talking about the warden, the correctional officers, the guards, the security, the maintenance people, the nurses, the doctor, just everyone lost their jobs. They had told them, I believe it was January 1st, and their last days was going to be April. And so I had to go in, and it's called rapid response, rapidly train them up so that they can be prepared for the workforce, pivoting out of where they were. And so many people were like, I thought I was going to retire here. I've been here 25 years. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know how to do it. They hadn't had to market themselves. They hadn't had to have a resume because they were in that career that they thought was tried and true. I mean, when you think about a correctional facility, you think, okay, where are we going? There's people being locked up, unfortunately, all the time. And that is not a big market. Yeah, we have correctional facilities, jails, and such all over the place, but we're not doing mass hirings for them in that way, especially in that part of the country. So they didn't know what they were going to do next. They were afraid. And no matter what your industry is, I don't care if you live in a banking place, a place where there's a tremendous amount of banks and you get laid off from being a banker, or if you are maybe work in retail and there's a lot of stores around. Whenever you lose your job, just like when you lose anything, at first it throws you off. You're off balance. You don't know where to step next, where to look, like what. And so you just don't know because you were so secure, you felt so secure. But even in those instances where perhaps you could just walk down the street or across the street and get another job, you still may have been out of the loop, out of the game of marketing yourself. And that's why in these times when people are losing their jobs, expectedly or unexpectedly, every day you have to know you are on an interview. So you every day have to posture yourself. Every day you have to market yourself. When you have a project that you're working on, you want to do your very best. Whenever you're submitting anything under the umbrella of your name, you want to make sure it is representing you in the very best way. And so many people take shortcuts, and I'm just shocked when I receive something, from say a client, and it's something some work that they were going to be sharing with me, and we were going to talk it over. And it's subpar. I'm like, who is this representing? Is this a representation of you? Because if you're not going to do your work that's representing you to the best, then how would an employer think that you would do it the best for them? So when an employer is reading your resume and reading your application, that is the very first interview. That right there is the first interview. That is showing them that you're putting your best foot forward, that you are seeing value in who you are, and you want them to see that value because that's the first touch they have of you. And then you want to have it so that they want to know more. So that's why they invite you in for that interview. And when you do land that next job, you everything you do, no matter if it's for your immediate team or if you're collaborating with another team somewhere else, you want to always do your very best. It's so easy, and I know it, to hit those cut those corners short, and just give anything because what who's gonna check you sometimes, right? But you gotta check yourself, and that's the thing, and that's why whatever you do, you wanna stand behind it with all your might and say, "Yes, I submit this." Let me tell y'all, because 'cause I'm not gonna be on here that long, I was pulled into a project that was requested, and it's a big project. It's really big. It's for a city that is actually 3,000 miles away from here, and I've over this past week, I've had to read well over 1,000 pages of submitted proposals that organizations and businesses had submitted, and I had to read all of the documents because I had to pull out strengths and weaknesses for their application purposes. And easily, with all of that paper, all those resumes that I was looking through, all of those scopes of work that I was looking through, I easily could have cut corners and been like, overall, this organization seems like they would be a good fit, they would be a viable candidate or whatever. I could have said similar things about each organization, but this is a big deal. What they're doing, 3,000 miles away is a big deal. And so I wanted to put my best foot forward because they reached out to me because I am a SME, because I am an expert in what I do. And I wanted to make sure because they even said, "Listen, Sherry, we are reaching out to you because we know that you are one of the best, and we want you to really give us your honest opinion. Like, we don't know. We're really relying on you to know, what we should be looking for." I'm, helping them know what they should be looking for. And I could have easily cut corners because I got a lot of other things that I'm doing too. But I said, you know what? I'm really gonna pour through this. I'm really going to take my time with this because you don't know where this is going to lead. I give my most expert responses. I even in communicating today, some of my responses, my ratings and such, I was able to effectively communicate them to the point where they were like, you know what, we're going to consult with you before we confirm who we're going to move forward with. And that's what you want. That's what you want to hear. So everything you do, put your best foot forward. So if you are on the journey of trying to find your next career, your next job search, be very intentional, but you have to know what it is that you want to do and make sure that you are posturing yourself. You are placing yourself in a way that you're attracting those opportunities to you. Don't just throw your resume out there applying to any job, every job. You want to be very intentional with it. You want the hiring manager, you want the recruiter to read your application, to read your resume and say, we need this person to come in. We need to hear more from this person. Because if they saying they could do this, which is what we need to hear more about that. And when you look at a job description, you should be saying to yourself, the only thing missing is my name because I could do all of this. If you're not saying that, if you're just saying, "Oh, I've done that before. Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, that's interesting. I would like to know that. You know what? I'm just going to apply to this." Don't do it. Don't do it. You need to really take your time just like I did reading over 1,000 pages. Take your time and pour over the job descriptions, the responsibilities and the duties. Look over the requirements, look over the minimum requirements, over the scope of work, all of that. Review and research the company like you really are getting ready to work there. Because when you read the job description, you said to yourself, the only thing missing is my name. The only thing missing is my name. Hold on. This job description was written for me. And guess what? It may only be one or two job descriptions like that in a week or two. A month. You may only see one job description like that. Hold on, hold tight, and apply for that. Don't just throw yourself out there for any and everything. Mm-mm. Don't do it. Hold tight for that one. That one is out there. All it takes is one, and it's out there. So make those connections. Introduce yourself. You are marketing yourself, whether you are introvert or not. At this moment, I need you to be an ambivert. I need you to be, yeah, you could be introverted at home, but I need you to be extroverted when you're outside. And know that you have that safe place at home to wind down. But in the meantime, you need to market yourself. You need to meet people. You need to put yourself out there. You need to reach out to them because they're not going to reach out to you. They're not going to tap you on the shoulder. They're not going to send you the invitation. You have to insert yourself. So go on to LinkedIn when you see the company that you want to work for and you know the positions that they have, you could absolutely do. Reach out to them. Go on LinkedIn. Find out who's working there. You may even see someone you know that's working there. Reach out to them and get advice. You're not reaching out to them to give you the hookup to get you the job. Don't come at that angle. Come at an angle of, I'm trying to do some research. I'm trying to figure this out. I'm looking for information. Have your questions ready. You know, it's one thing when people want to schedule meetings to figure out like what I do or how they can get into the things that I'm doing. And I'll take those calls. I'll take them. I will. But you have to know what you want to ask, because in the first 5 minutes, if I'm just hearing air and you're just going around in a circle, I gotta go. Oh, I gotta go. So have your questions already planned out. Know what you want to learn from that person. Know the information that you're seeking that you feel is going to be necessary for you to move forward. Ask them how they do what they do, how long they've been doing it, what do they love most about it. Ask them about the trends of the organization. Where are they going? What are they doing? How innovative are they? What's the culture like? How do they support employees? What resources and benefits do they have for the employees? Have your questions ready. Create your spreadsheet so you know who you spoke to and when. And keep track of all the things that you're doing. Because listen, your first interview is your application and resume. Your second one is that hello when you answer the phone for the telephone screen that you may or may not have known was coming. So if you are on the job search right now, when you answer your phone, especially if you put out applications, you should not be answering your phone using your day-to-day. I know this is my kids. I know this is my man. I know this is my girl. I know this is my dude, my homeboy, my homegirl. You don't answer the phone like that. You don't say, what's up? Who this? What you doing? Who that? No. You answer the phone like the professional that you want to be and that you are. Hello. Even sometimes during the day on my personal phone, I say, hello, this is Sherri. You just never know. You just never know. And that's how it is, because I'm going to tell you, if you apply for anything I have, I'm calling, and I'm not telling you when. I'm just calling. So it might be a lot more employers like that. You never know. I'm sorry, my camera is tripping. So let me see. I'm sorry. People were in here. Brit Family Fun. Hello. And I know now your name is Yolanda. I think you were in Coach Mean Reen's live and she said, "What's your name? What's your first name?" And then I went to I was in your live with the hula hoop and Yolanda. So hello, how are you? Good to see you. Mind Journey 247 is in the building. How are you doing? So good to see you. Wow. Let me see. And let me just do this real quick. I hope everybody is having a good Monday. I just wanted to come on here. Is that loving myself? Yes, it is. Y'all, oh, I'm telling you, say loving myself to yourself 5 times and it just makes you feel some kind of way in a good way. That's a good thing for sure. All right. Thank you. I'm glad you're doing well. I'm glad you're doing well. Yes, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. That was like a serious mantra during COVID. People were saying that all the time, and they still are. Hey, Monique, how are you doing? Good to see you. Thanks for coming in and speaking. I love it. So, again, there's a ton of resources. 9 times out of 10, if you've been in the workforce for years and years, you don't know of a lot of them. So definitely do your research. I would say start with your workforce development board. If you don't know who your workforce development board is, just Google them. Who is the workforce development board for whatever town or city you live in? You know, I can tell you if you're in the Charlotte area, it's Charlotte Works, it's NC Works, it's Rest Care. There's the Urban League, there's the Goodwills, there's the nonprofits. You want to look for organizations that provide skilled training in trades. Even if you have a degree and you're like, I might not even want to do the work I was just doing anymore. Look at the different skilled trades out there. You can create a business from it. You know, and I've spoken about this before. Go and get trained up in HVAC, in plumbing, in electrical, mechanical, technology, any of those things, and see how you can develop it into a business. And this is something else. See, this is an extension of the short that I had just dropped not too long ago today when I talked about careers and business. So if you find yourself and you're like, all right, my job is tripping. I feel like they're about to do something. I don't know what, but I need to get ready to pivot. You may have had your side business all along anyway, and you might look at it like, okay, I'm going to do this full time. Even if you are a YouTuber and you have your YouTube channel, you're monetized, congratulations. Use it, treat it like a business. And even in your community right now, there are entrepreneurship classes, business classes, startup businesses. Go to the library and see when and where they're taking place. Go to Eventbrite. They usually have workshops on there. Go to the Goodwill. They have places inside of the Goodwill that can help you start your own business. Your local government, your city, you know, your city government, local municipality, a lot of times through like housing and neighborhood services, they'll have courses for the community, for the residents, to help train them on how to start your business. So you might say, well, I know people that have their own business. I'm just going to ask them. Don't do that. Don't do that. Go to professionals that know how to set your business up appropriately. You don't know if you want to be an S corp, a LLC, or just a DBA. You want to know what type of banking you need to set up, how much money you need to start, and sometimes those trainings that they have, those entrepreneurship hubs and think tanks and stuff. Sometimes they even have angel funding for people that take the course. So they might be able to give you that seed money to start. Again, you want to try and do things outside, especially if you're not a content creator or whatever, but you want to try to do things outside, meaning going to association meetings, going to networking events, putting yourself out there, hearing what other people are doing, how they're getting what they get in. I promise you, there is money out there. It's crazy. It's crazy. There's another another video that I'm going to share with you about how to put your team together. You know, a lot of times entrepreneurs think that they have to have everyone that's working for them or with them on their payroll. And if you all are going for particular types of contracts, it's just about putting your minds together and seeing how much time it's going to take you to do your part and how much is your hourly rate for that particular project. So you do it as a collective. I promise you, that word collective has been resonating with me so much, especially after being on Queen Alchemy's live when I was part of the panel with Mind Journey and Coach Mean Reen and Rooted in Essential Oils. And it was called The Collective. And after that, I've been hearing collective over and over. I see Big Rooster Show is in the building. Hello to you. It's so good to see you. Are you bowling tonight, or is that Wednesdays or Thursdays that you bowl? I love checking out your bowling lives. They are cool. Thank you for saying hello to everyone. But the word collective, after I did that panel, and thank you, Queen's Alchemy, again for inviting me to be part of it. I started hearing it, you know, like that next week, I went to a networking event and the location was called The Collective. That's the name of the building. And, you know, and I just keep hearing it. And as I was going through the applications for these people over 3,000 miles away, I was thinking, it's not just one business, it's a collective. It's a collective of businesses. You don't have to do this alone, but you don't have to do it where you have a partner necessarily. You don't have to do it where, oh, I'm going to bring this friend in. I'm going to bring this relative in. I'm going to bring this person in, and we're going to start a business together. It's a different type of business together. It's a different type of business together. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time talking about what I'm talking about right now because I got to get ready to go, y'all. Listen, I drank a cup of coffee yesterday at like 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon because, you know, I was reading all those papers and I had to do my evaluations on the information, right? And so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna drink this coffee right now. I'll be good to go. Woo! I was good to go till about 3 o'clock in the morning, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And I had to get up because I had to, you know, meet on the information that I put together for that organization. And I hit that brick wall probably about 2 o'clock today. So it must be something about 2 to 3, 2 to 3, 2 to 3. So 2 to 3 o'clock today, I was in my meetings like this, like eyes closed, trying to figure it out. And so now that I'm home, I'm getting ready to go in here and just listen, just relax and break it all the way down. I'm glad everyone is speaking. And Monique is saying, oh, I'm glad. Thank you, Monique. I'm glad you are enjoying this information that I'm sharing. I didn't think, listen, I didn't think the coffee was going to be that powerful for me, but it absolutely was. I mean, I was up at like 2 in the morning, like, where's everybody at? What y'all doing? You sleep? You sleep? I'm up. So that's not good. Yes, thank you, Big Rooster Show. Y'all, I hope y'all all know each other in here. Y'all are all good people. Everyone that has a blue highlight, well, it's a blue wrench, y'all are great people. And I hope you all know each other because this is what we do around here. This is networking. So we Monday night networking right now. But I hope that you all have gotten a nugget or two, and don't just keep this information to yourself. Share it with those in your circle. There are so many people right now that are just like, yo, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. If you are secure where you're at, listen, any given Sunday is what I say. So always be prepared. So even if you think you're secured, you still should know this information. Knowledge is power. So if something, God forbid, was to happen, you will always be prepared. So become more aware of the resources that are available to you that are absolutely free and in many cases will actually pay you money, and take advantage of them now before you need them. I think it was Monique that said, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Or it was Mind Journey. One of you had mentioned that. That's going to be really, really important. All right, everyone. That's all I have for you right now. I'll come back another time to share about what the collective in terms of business really means for 2025. And until we speak again, remember every day, listen, every day is an interview, right? Every day is practice. So practice so hard so that when you get into play, you will always play to win. It's been my pleasure chatting with you. Just trying to see what everyone is saying. And thank you so much for being here. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it with y'all. All right. I'll talk to you later. Take care. Bye bye. Oh, I am Coach Sherri.